Celebration Center, beautiful downtown Detroit. It's the first ever Black People's Award, sponsored by Lavish.
Every year, right around Juneteenth celebration, we get the annual celebration of BT with their BET Awards. And in this particular award ceremony, we get a chance to see the Black demographic, if you will, dress up. And we see a representation of the BET-ification of the Black community and how it presents itself in modern day culture. Seeing the BET Awards is a representation, if you will, of what does it look like when you try to make a culture that is dysfunctional appear to have, well, value.
The families break up when they leave countrysides, rural peasant life, and sort of dump into slums. Fourthly, unemployment. We have had 35 years of disastrous unemployment, and for the Negro male. He has never gotten over the Depression. He had 4 fair to middling years in the Second World War, and maybe a good year in the Korean War, and that's it. Getting better just recently. But by and large, it's been going on beyond the imagining in the white world.
So YouTube has this button that allows you to sort videos from oldest to newest. And of course I go to Be Just Zip More and I sort from newest to oldest, or oldest to newest, the opposite. And I get to see his very first work, and it's talking about the Moynihan Report. And I watched the first video and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I don't understand what I've just uncovered. I've heard him speak at length on the Moynihan Report, but you get into the first video and you realize that they knew in 1965 that we had major issues in the Black community.
World in the Negro world today is almost 25%. Can you imagine that? That is a social crime. That's an outrage. There isn't a society in the world which will let 25% of teenagers go unemployed. About a quarter of Negro families are headed by women. The divorce rate is 2.5 times what it is, and all the number of fatherless children keeps growing, and all these things getting worse, not better, over recent years. It's not a matter of a bad situation that doesn't improve, but rather a bad situation that worsens. Got to get that clear. It's getting worse.
If you look up honor in the dictionary, it is defined as to hold in high honor, high respect, to revere, or to treat someone with honor. When you think about, well, the BET Awards, it is a display of how 60 years removed from the Moynihan Report, and the reason why it's just so incredibly mystifying to hear this talk 60 years ago. Now you have the evolution of 60 years of a community that really just doesn't honor anything. Our community now kind of sort of honors street culture. And so BET is the culmination of a culture that's basically upside down, where the people that are educated and smart or striving to do better are ridiculed as educated lames. And then you have the BET Awards, which is the culmination of shoe model culture, D-boy culture. You see it. There is a song, I think the one lady sang it was a certain body part of mine is pink and another body part of mine is brown. And that is a legit song that's being sung on radio. And you look at just the culture and it's getting worse.
Now you know, everybody want to take home the coveted cookie, but only the winners can win.
How'd you learn how to behave? From your father and your mother and your older sisters maybe, and the people around you. Well, supposing there is no father, or if he is a father, he doesn't work, where there is no education, where there's no sense of getting ahead, where children are just brought up without any of that support which a family gives it, then what do you end up with?
Carlisha Hood walked free from the Cook County Jail Monday and is no longer facing murder charges. Charges were also dropped against her 14-year-old son.
This goes beyond an injustice. Frankly, it's a miscarriage of justice as to what happened to this woman and her son.
CBS 2 legal analyst Irv Miller says charges, let alone murder charges, should have never been approved in this case.
I'm not one to condone the behavior of the man shown in this video, but I will say that as a black culture, we don't live in a culture where you are deserving of respect as a black man. And so we don't know what was said. We don't know the history between the two of them. All we know is that some words were exchanged. This man was deleted, and now it's nothing. It's a nothing burger, and they go about their lives. Now, if she said something, or there was some past that triggered him, or that made him, get upset, well, it doesn't matter anymore because he's not here anymore, and she gets to live the rest of her life, which tells me basically that there just isn't any line that a black man has that is to be honored.
The black people are one. The black people are one.
As someone who's lived overseas in another country, and I've seen a culture where honor is literally built into the Japanese culture, I would say to Black American men, or I guess I could say to Black American women as well, we don't have a code of honor in our culture. And so when someone tries you or someone embarrasses you, you should literally walk away from it. And let me explain. There is a self-governor that comes from honorable behavior. When you walk into someone's restaurant and you have respect for them, there's just a way that you would carry yourself. If you have honor for your last name and for your father or your mother or the people associated with your last name, there are certain behaviors that you simply won't engage in. If you have honor for the people in your space, for certain people that have certain places in your community, there are just simple ways that you would self-govern yourself to make sure that you don't bring shame into someone that you revere. The problem is when you look at the BET Awards, they are just an exclamation point in the fact that the black community does not have anything that is revere worthy. And so what we in turn revere is street culture. And street culture just leads us down a path of destruction where an altercation can turn into a young 14-year-old doing something that ends a man's life, and nothing happens. It's all over. It's a nothing burger, and life carries on. And it's quite possible that in that interaction, something was said or there's some past that he felt dishonored by. And instead of just walking away and saying, I live in a culture that knows no honor and no shame, I should just walk away, he took it further and he paid the price for acting out. The honor that's in your name, in your family name, in the people that you respect is a common code that has to be enforced on a community level. And when it can no longer be enforced or recognized on the community level, honor has no more meaning except for a self-governor, which would be like playing a basketball game where some people are playing with both hands and only you are playing with one. When you're dishonored in a black community, walk away from it, because there's nothing good coming behind it except you exposing yourself to someone's emotional whims and possibly what we've seen in this last situation. It is what it is. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. I'll catch you guys next video. Take care, guys.